Yeah, saying no is one thing, accepting no is another thing.
When is the best time to correct your parents?
Either, oh, you want to tell me that you're wiser than me?
That you don't correct your spouse like you're correcting a child.
God is interested in how you wake up in the morning.
There must be a clear demonstration of the power of God.
See, I did high octave and low octave.
You guys are going to enjoy today's episode.
Today.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I climb to the highest mountain.
Hello guys, welcome to today's episode of UNWALLED. So I hope you have been watching the previous episodes. Of course, we are still in the testimony series. I really hope you've been watching previous episodes because they have been a blessing. My name is Grace Ganyulo. A new face, right? Yeah, so we like to spice things up at UNWALLED. So with me here, I have today Mr. Rogers Yakubu. He is an SME consultant, a father, a husband, a feminist, and a storyteller. So I would just like us to meet him. Mr. Rogers, thank you so much for coming. Please, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Thank you for having us. Practically, you said everything. But one part is I'm also a lover of Jesus Christ. So to put that on record.
A lover of Jesus.
Yes.
All right. So we're here to talk about your testimony. Your salvation story. So please, can you give us the gist? Your life pre-Jesus, in Jesus, and post-Jesus, something like that.
So like I always say, people will tell you, before I met Christ, life was difficult, life was this, life was that. But it's a different case with me because before I met Jesus, I was actually enjoying the sin I was in, if that makes sense, so to say. But it wasn't something that I wanted to leave. It was something I was deliberately doing, right? So it wasn't as if, I was in it and I wanted out. No, I was deep in it. But it came to a point when I just started feeling this void. And I knew there was something missing, but I didn't know what was missing. But, I grew up in a Christian home, so there's always that feeling, oh, there's a God, and so what's this void? And in the quest to understand that void or to fill that void, that was where I met Christ, so to say. So my life was pretty much on the high side, and of course I felt the void, and then I started seeking answers.
So what was your journey like in the void? Because people just say, okay, I felt a void, I was interested. Would you let us know your struggles? Because these are real issues that we would like to address.
Absolutely. So for me, it was, I did drugs. Of course, the sex part is part of it as well. And so I've always had this niche for money. So anything that would bring in the money, I was also into that. But the part that really I was so deep into is the alcohols and the drugs. So as far as I could remember, I started smoking while I was at the age of 11, so to say. And before I knew it, I was in deep into it. So imagine right from primary school and I went into secondary school already, it was a no-brainer, smoking and all that. And then I went to a boarding school where I had all the freedom to do whatever I wanted to and all that. And so marijuana came along, but I was always scared about anything that has to do with chemicals and all that. So the hard drugs, I didn't delve towards that, but alcohol, marijuana, and cigarettes. So before I knew it, I was smoking cigarette for 9 years. So it was just like this. And when I realized it, that was part of the void around that period. What's this all about? But it took a while. Right? It took a while, and I had this thing I was calling DMB back in the day, so I was also into sports. So it's more like drug and basketball, where I'll get high before I get to the court. And before, it's sort of like an urban lifestyle, and it was influencing a whole lot of people because it came with the lifestyle and the habit, of course. So, but there was a way I was doing it that, of course, people who knew me close and personal knew, oh, I was into this, but it wasn't showing on the face. And before I knew it, I was getting deep into it because my lip wouldn't go, my lips were not black. My eyes won't go red when I'm high and all that. So it was, and you know that part where mothers would say, so mothers used to tell me, they would say, maybe in Hausa, they'd be like, this boy is very gentle, he's very kind, but his problem is that cigarette and all that. So I'm the kind of person that I'll greet you, I'll bend down and greet you, and immediately when you pass, I'll light up my cigarette. It wasn't something I was hiding. When you want to talk to me or you want to preach to me, I'll listen to you, I'll tell you thank you, we'll pray together. And the very moment you're gone, I'll light up my cigarette and I'll move. So it wasn't something I was hiding. But for some reasons, I've always found it very difficult to even let my mother know, right? So my mother got to know that I was smoking and drinking while I was in SS2. I was just rounding up. Meanwhile, I was years into it. But she said she always knew, but she only told me while I was in SS2. So it was a heartbreaking moment for me because I always thought, oh, I was hiding it from my mother and all that. But of course, my sisters and the rest of them, they all knew about the lifestyle. So it was more of the drug side and sex. Yeah, a lot of boys don't get to experience sex, at a young age. But for my own case, again, it was different because when I was 15, so it started at the age of 15. And by the time I was done with secondary school, it was not news no longer. So those are some of the lifestyle.
Like, was it an influence of friends, or you just happened to stumble with it?
This is funny because, so as far as I can remember, all the habits that I struggled with was voluntarily because I got into them, not influence. Nobody taught me how to masturbate. I learned it all by myself. Nobody taught me how to smoke. I picked up a cigarette on the road, and so when people smoke back in the day, they smoke halfway and you can pick it up. So I picked up a cigarette like that. And even marijuana, same thing. So I just met a bunch of students in secondary school. We're in JS3 then, and they were just smoking. And I met them, I told them I wanted to smoke. So it wasn't influence, it was, so parts of the influence I would say is TV, because I've always seen how it was done on TV, especially those this college movies, so to say, and high school movies. So it was always something fun to me to try, but my immediate environment, nobody influenced me. It was just that desire. I wanted to do it by myself.
So what was the turning point for you? Like, when did you know that, okay, I had to leave this?
So I was in Federal Polytechnic Mubi, and so all the pastors will preach on stage, if you don't stop this habit, you will go to hell and everything. We'll be smoking like it's just hell now. No Allah, we'll go to that hell and all that. It didn't make sense. The scolding and all that wasn't it. But there's this particular pastor, a living faith pastor, on stage on the pulpit one day, he was just preaching and he said, I know among you students here, there are people who smoke and all that. You still smoke? You people are still in the old school now. Cross over to the other side and come to the new school. It's fun. You should try it. Now, it's the delivery. It wasn't about him scolding them, or you have to stop it and all that. There was a friendliness to the tone in which he put it, because I used to tell my friend he was cool. I used to tell the way he spoke to me was cool like that. And it got me thinking like, yo, this guy wasn't being hard on me and all that. He spoke in a way that I actually wanted to listen to him. That was one of the turning point. But of course, it didn't take effect after that while. It took some time. And I could recall a couple of times I would say, oh, I've stopped smoking. And when I get back home, there's always this one cigarette. There's always one cigarette. It's either is in my book, or is in one of my jackets, or it's just somewhere in the house. There's always this one. But the point at which I stopped smoking was the day I was very deliberate about it. From the lecture theater, I left intentionally. I said I had to quit smoking. I walked down to my hostel. Sorry, my boys' quarters there. I was in the boys' quarters. I went down to the boys' quarters, took the cigarette, and I broke it, and that was it. That was it. So that was the turning point. Of course, I dealt with alcohol addiction and the marijuana after that while, but that was the defining moment for me. After that while, it was just the struggle. I drop, I peak until I finally give it up.
So if I can pick something from that, you said the delivery, the way the guy delivered.
Yes.
So can I say the delivery was what like push to your turning point?
So while I was growing up, it was more like, of course, it still happens. So it's worthy of note that there are people who do bad things intentionally. It's not as if they got caught up in the lifestyle. So I was one of those people. And so I could relate to a whole lot of people in this generation as well, because no, I'm not doing it because I'm influenced. I'm actually doing this because I want to do it. You get? And so when you're trying to scold them, you're telling them about hell, it's more like fear and all that. No, the conviction, especially in this generation, is not going to come from a place of fear. It's going to come from a place of love. So it was, like I said, the delivery, it was like he understood me and he wasn't judging me. It was more like, yo, I'm like you. Can we talk? Of course, after that while, I met him a couple of times and he would tell me, you know what, when you want to see me, don't worry, if you're high, come and see me. And a couple of times I met him while I was high and I'll talk to him, I'll tell him this is the last time, but of course it never was the last time.
Was he the one that led you to Christ?
No, funny enough, there was a revival in the church and my mom said, oh, I have to come out. So yeah, I just obeyed her, I stepped out, I gave my life to Christ, so I've stopped everything. But immediately after the revival, I went back and I got high again. But there was this time in school that it was just a message. And then after the message, I was heading back to the hostel and I was listening to a rap song by the ambassador of the cross movement. And there were certain things he spoke. So my turning point was actually in a gospel hip hop. It's funny, but it's true. It was actually in a gospel hip hop song. And I went back, I was thinking about it. If these people that are of same lifestyle are able to turn things around and still live for Jesus, so what was my excuse? And that was it. In my hostel, I confessed, and I had a brother, I can't remember his name, but I called him and I confessed to him, and he prayed with me, and that was it. That was it. But of course, after that, well, again, there were struggles, but that was the defining moment again.
Wow. Your story is inspiring because through music, and then you went and you confessed. Like, it wasn't necessarily a preacher, although there were a series of events, but it was through music. So, music is important. Let's not see it as because it's rap or Afro, it's the devil's hand. God speaks through music. He's the originator of everything good. So, have there been struggles so far? How is your life now that you have Christ?
It's a journey. So the struggle continues, right? But the most important thing is the lifestyle no longer has a hold on me. So at some point, it took stages. There were some points I can't stay where people are smoking and all that. But right now, the smell of it irritates me. It's been years, of course, but I've gotten to the point where every time I think about that lifestyle, it's actually irritating right now. But from the beginning, it wasn't like that. It was, I was struggling to distance myself. It was an effort. But right now, it's just, I don't see myself doing that no more. So it's a journey. Yeah.
Do you have any words to share with someone? Because I know there are a lot of people who feel guilt that they've confessed and they still go back. So please, from your piece of experience, can you just encourage someone today who's listening to this? So
if I have a word for someone watching this or listening to this right now, is very important. It's not by your strength, and it's not a day's thing. Sometimes it takes a while, but the most important thing is for you to not quit trying, for you to always try. And you can say shortbread prayers like, Father, just help me. I could recall there are times when all I could do was just say, Father, help me. And that was the prayer. So very important. And always trust in God and don't give up.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So much for being open about this. you don't get to hear this kind of things when you struggle. Church is just all about packaging right now.
Okay.
So we thank you so much, Mr. Rogers, for coming on. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Thank
All
you.
right, this is another episode on World. I hope you were blessed. Please, please, please don't listen to this alone. Share. Someone needs this today. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Thank you very much. We hope to see you on the next episode. Bye.
I climb to the highest mountain. Look around, I couldn't find nobody.